All right, welcome, friends and family, to the reception to exciting current art exhibition by Mostafa Darwish. For those of you who have not heard about us or are visiting our space for the first time, we are Al Bustan Seeds of Culture, Arabish, if you will, arts organization, around for about 20 years. Beside the work of arts presentations, including these exhibits such as this one, film screenings, musical performances, poetry readings, and the like, we also work in two other domains: arts education, a program in which long collaborator Lisa Volta works. That also includes our summer camp, some Arabic courses that we offer, occasional other Arab arts that courses that we offer, dance, literature, that sort of a thing. And thirdly, we work in arts-propelled civic engagement, census work, voter registration and voting work. We've done some COVID relief. We've done some direct assistance. And we, for a year, have run the Al Bustan News Service, which covers the cultural life of Southwest Asian, North African people of Greater Philadelphia. Check that out sometime. Check out our upcoming events. Welcome. Eat and drink yourself silly. And next, I'd love to introduce. Oh, shall I introduce first, Lisa? Maybe
Lisa, please.
Let's introduce Lisa. Thank you. Lisa Volta.
Thank you. Lisa Volta.
Hello.
I'm the exhibitions curator for the Al Bustan Gallery, and it's my honor to welcome Mostafa Darwish. I'm so excited. We actually worked together a very long time ago in Al Bustan's after-school program at Moffitt Elementary School, and since that time, you have become an accomplished artist and have achieved some wonderful things, and including being the first Egyptian American artist to be acquired by the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts Museum. With a warm and wonderful welcome, Mo Darwish.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much, guys. This is a wonderful opportunity. I'm going to look at the camera, okay? So, this is a wonderful opportunity, and I'm very thankful for it. So here's the thing. I guess I'm a kind of person that I like to be relaxed as much as possible. I didn't prepare really big speeches, and you guys are here, so I'm going to talk to you because you're my audience, right? And I guess I'll give you a small spiel, what's going on in my head right now, and then if you have questions, just tell me. And also thank you, Muhammad, thank you, Lisa, thank you, Hadil, and everybody else that show up. And Dina, I'm so sorry, and Dina, and Dan, right? I'm so sorry, my friend. So thank you all for having me. And I guess so, like, what's happening with me right now, as an artist, I think I move through phases and a progress. And then the best way I can describe what I do is that I think of things as a project mindset, right? So how I move is that, okay, I'm a fine artist, I do classic painting, progress throughout time into like different thinking that I want to try different contemporary work. And the only way for me to do so is just to exit that bubble and literally pursue where the project would take me, right? So it took a shape of music, it took shape of videos, it took shapes of regular painting, and every project is just different. And that's how I approach my artwork, if that makes sense. In this show, I guess what happened, I was thinking a lot about the idea of being a dislocated immigrant. And it's a topic that I constantly keep revisiting, but I just never had the guts to speak out loud. And I realized that there's a lot of artists like me, like a lot of people who go through the same thing, literally, of being an immigrant, coming to a different country, and then establish a community, being a part of community, and do art, and so on and so forth. And I realized that my entire life I've been immigrating from one country to another, and I noticed that I don't have a constant home or a place to call home. Like I ask myself, is this my home? Is America's my home? Is Egypt is my home? Is Saudi Arabia my home? And I was like very confused, and I realized that the one thing that kept on like being with me throughout, my life and my experience is the fact that I still hold on to my old memories, right? From keepsakes to photos to you name it, anything that, like, I have a letter from my younger brother, for example. And I decided that, oh my God, like, I don't need to necessarily have a place to call home. Like, I don't have hey, apartment, whatever, apartment 5, that's my house or something like that. I don't. But rather, I have things in my heart or something that I would like to express, that I keep it with me. And that's my home. That's the place that I always return to. So lately, I've been exploring videos and music. And the initial idea of the show actually was supposed to be a sound art and a video art. I was supposed to get a grant. It didn't work out, which is totally fine. And then I had to switch gears. And I was talking to Lisa about this, actually. And I decided to be like, hey, like, this is the perfect place where I can just express all of that, like, it's a brain cell, right? You're walking into my brain. And this is my ADHD world where I just, like, literally express all of my the things that have always been, like, with me, that it doesn't have a voice exactly. It's kind of hard to express those in our current world, the art world right now. So I was like, hey, maybe this is a perfect advantage where what I will do is tackle that topic rather than video and sound. I tackle it again doing the training that I had my entire life, or not entire life, I mean recently as a PAFA graduate, right, as a fine artist, a painter. And I was like, hey, in that case, that would be a regular classic painting show. And what I will do is that I will try to let out all of those memories as much as I can. And after I lay them out, I also want to commentate on them as an adult and how I look into my memories. Like, it's not just that me painting something. To me, I believe, like, when you paint, it's just, of course, there's a lot of meaning to it, right? I'm a very technical, figurative person, so most of the time I will paint for the sake of just, like, showing ability, showing how I paint, how the medium work. But this time I was like, hey, like, it's just free your mind and just work, do like whatever you see, whatever you feel like. And in return, after doing so, I will actually commentate on them. So a lot of the show, like, has a lot of doodles, and those doodles are just, like, me being completely free. And also, like, I really applaud whoever do this kind of art, that they are so free, able to do sketches, doodles in their work. It takes a lot of courage that, hey, like, you have to nullify the commercial aspect. You're not doing something for something, you're doing something for yourself to express who you are. So I decided to just, hey, man, let's go and do it. And I guess for this show, I divided into multiple pieces. What I decided to do is, like, okay, since you're going to come here, you're going to see the show. It's about Mo and his brain, and you're walking in it. So I decided to take different takes. I have some paintings that I did in here. Basically, those are all from, like, paintings from my photos, like, literally the photos that I have left of my memories and home. And what I did is just go paint them. After I paint them, I doodle around with what each memory that I see, what I remember, right? Like, what happened that day, what's the point of this, why do I still love this memory, why would I even paint it? And I decided to just commentate on it. So there's a lot of symbolism, and the idea that I'm doing a lot of, like, you will look at the work, you might not understand it, but I think that's the beauty of it, is that I don't have to explain everything. It can be just me spewing whatever I have in my mind that means a lot to me, but people might not necessarily fully understand it, but they will feel that, oh, I get it, I understand what you were trying to do. That was the idea. So for example, when I was a kid, I didn't know how to read or write because I had dyslexia. So I used to pretend that I write. So most of the writings were my name in Arabic, and I just keep on doing this squiggly. So I did a lot that I want to commentate, but rather than commentating what it is, I just left it vague, that this is just random thing. You can be anything you want to comment on. So, which is a sliver of what goes on into my head. And at the same time, like, for example, like, you will see some weird stuff. Ninja Turtles here, like, one of my favorite, me and my younger brother favorites cartoon to watch. And we have some visitors. Please come on in. Hey. And basically, I think this is from where it started going. Basically, again, these are just crazy spew of like, hey, this is the time where I'm just like loosely doing anything that comes into my mind from references from photos or not, but they are related to a story that I had in my life. And it's playful, it's kind of, I wanted to play around, and I like the idea of interactability in an art. A lot of the, one of the things regarding paintings that I see, considering the fact that I moved into music and video, is that I try to put a lot of interactive work, but it's very hard, in my opinion, to put an interactive aspect into a fine art or a painting. Of course, I admire anybody who does this, but for me, I had a hard time. So what I decided to do is that, actually, where's the 3D glasses? You're supposed to wear 3D glasses, and you take a look at the artwork. Lisa, thank you. And I guess I have to represent, so there we go, I guess. You wear the 3D glasses, and you look at the artwork, and it's just me being playful with all of those things that pop into your eyes, right? And I know it's silly, but the reason why I did this, for example, is the fact that I'm trying as much as possible to push you into a lane in my head, like something that, you know, a memory that when I was a kid, I used to like buy those and just play around with it, so on and so forth. But another thing that's happening in the show is that it's running until January, right? And one of the things we decided to do is that I will keep on doing some extra work, and every 3 weeks or so, I will send them to Lisa, and Lisa can curate and have fun with them. There are a music piece and I guess, an installation called Returned Mail. Those are also the same thing, interactive. This is just me having fun with the fact that I used to write, I guess, a lot of fake mails and pretend that I have friends. I used to have my best friend, which imaginary friend. Trust me, I'm not crazy, I promise. The friend disappeared a while ago, but I just like the idea of having of that. And yeah, so that's an not interactive, I mean an installation. And then I have another installation that is a sound art as well as video. Basically what it is that I wanted to also go further into expressing my memory using a little bit of the skills I have in music as a musician. What I decided to do is that, hey, I look at the photos, and the same thing, rather than painting them, I'm just trying to remember how would that sound like to me, if that makes sense. And what started that project is actually another sound art project that I use Braille language. Basically, if you use Braille correctly, you can align it with music sheets. And what happens is that I turn words into sound. So what I did over there in that piece is there are pieces of pictures, right, from Polaroid pictures, which you will see, I guess, in the video. I wrote a sentence, and then what I tried to do is that take that sentence and turn it into sound piece, rather. It was challenging. It's very challenging actually to use, because like, again, it gives a completely different context. Using Braille, it's a completely different context. But I'm trying to be authentic by the fact that those are actually legible. So if somebody knows how to read Braille, they can actually hold the sheet and they will actually read the sentence. And that was the idea. An accessibility to people who have disabilities, whether blind or blind deaf. To be able to understand what they look at and see. And in return also, the music box, you can hold it, put the sheet in, and you hear what's going on, and that's the transcription of the sentence. And I use music theory and try as much as possible to make it sound something that, you know, like means a lot to me, or something that I felt, I guess, based on the memory. It's kind of hard to be, as an artist, to depict, to force yourself into who you are. So rather be a person that I can be under a general umbrella, that I just try to do something that others can relate to, which I think is the hardest to do, in my opinion, especially when it comes to something like painting, right? Painting is very a flat surface. Everything you can do can be symbolic, but to actually make it have a purpose or a meaning, yeah, I think it's very hard to do so. I hope I was able to do something like that, but for me, again, I guess even doing those photos, one of the fun things that I was noticing is that I'm actually reliving the memory if that
Yeah.
makes sense. And I kept on, like when I painted, I'm like, when was that? Why was that? And these kind of questions. And I decided that when I paint them, actually I became very curious about which selection of photo should I pick. Like, why does that has a purpose for it? And it's doing my best.